Phantom Sitter. Yes, we are here to check out the new song that came out from them like 2 days ago. And wow, thank you for waiting, because I have just come back from Taiwan to Korea. I know it's complicated, I'm all over the place at the moment, but I'm back in Korea from Taiwan. I had a fantastic time whilst I was out in Taiwan, but I felt a little bit guilty about doing any reactions out there because I was staying with a friend and I didn't really want to be setting up a camera in their house. So I have left it a little bit, and I've got videos to catch up with. Even 3 days away, you end up with so much to catch up with. And this was actually one where, obviously, I know Phantom Sitter have been having some music coming out recently, but I just hadn't clicked the fact there was going to be a new single. And this new single is here. It's called Mo Ikai. Just to be clear, in case you're like me, a bit of more of an old school Japanese music fan, that's not the same Mo Ikai as in one more time, as in, oh, it's great. It's not that Mo Ikai. It's Mo Ikai, which means are you ready? And talking of ready, you can see this particular hotel is very hard to set up my pictures in, so I just got a coat hanger, stuck it on a thing in the wall, and it still looks like a music channel, right? And furthermore, talking about being ready, I went to get my coffee. I used the free of charge coffee, because you always get complimentary coffee in hotel rooms. They had this instant stuff. I'm going to be honest, that this looks more like milk tea than coffee. I bring my own cup, by the way. Just all right, so with all that said, we are going to jump in and check out Phantom Sitter with... is it okay to pronounce it Phantom? It's not sitter, though, is it? Like, sitting. Shita. Is it like... I actually don't know how to spell theatre in katakana. I know how to spell it in English, R before E. But I don't know how to spell it in katakana. So I'm just thinking, is that how you spell theatre? Anyway, whatever. I'm trying. Yeah, actually, can someone tell me what Phantom Sitter actually means? Let's jump in anyway. This is a group who obviously I've been excited with ever since really they first came out, and there was that whole thing about them being produced by Ado. I do think that they show an immense amount of quality that is kind of in line with what you'd expect given that fact. And obviously they do carry a lot of the ethos and, shall we say, attributes that Ado's singing tends to be very much about. You know, we tend to have very overdramatic, powerful, but often theatrically quite fun vocal displays. There's a good variation between the members usually. The backings tend to be towards kind of a more kooky, crazy kind of mad. It's almost like a dark Kiari Pami kind of vibe. So, this is a group who, if nothing else, always give us pleasant surprises, or at least something to listen to that's going to be interesting. You never just get sort of a boring run-of-the-mill song from them. But in this particular case, I'm interested to see what we get, because the last single I remember quite enjoying. I thought it was one of the ones that I'd enjoyed most from them in quite a while. And so I'm looking forward to this. Let's just see if we can see what that last single was. And apologies, I don't always keep up with every single song. Please tell me I haven't missed it. Oh my god, they've had a lot of videos since this one. This one I remember enjoying this one. Alright, anyway, so let's come back and check out Mo Ikai and see whether we are ready. I keep on saying I'm going to dive into it. I've been saying that for about 4 minutes, but this time I actually mean it. Immediately with the funkiness. I always kind of love this sort of jazzy swing jazz show tune kind of thing they do. I really feel like getting to hear their voice is lovely straight away. A lot of long notes letting them really breathe. Okay, so this has kind of got a really sort of by the numbers kind of catchy swing show tune. I don't know what the word to use for it. Okay, we were going to dive a little bit more into the darkness there, okay. Little half-time. I feel like the song's got a joyous delivery, but there's that ever-present darkness under the surface. Ooh. Ooh, I like that sound. There's almost something a little bit keyboard synth about that. I kind of like. Oh, okay. I have a lot of things I really liked about that, but I'm also I'm gonna be fair about that as well. There's some notes I have on this one too. Oh, we got a lot of credits here. Look at that. Unfortunately, they're written in this kind of joined up font that makes it very hard to read, I'm sure, when it's all at the resolution it is here. But anyway, credit to everyone involved, I will say. Now, this song, I would definitely say this is one of the just so much fun. This is one of the ones that I would probably come back to quickest if I just wanted to put on something that carried that ethos that we expect from Phantom City, that I said, of kind of having a little bit of showy quality, a little bit of expressiveness in the voice, but also kind of being accessibly fun. You know, it really puts the audience member front and center and says, we're going to give you something entertaining that you can sing along to. It's kind of it's that nice balance of having some of the dark, slightly kooky, crazy quality that we expect from Phantom City, but also really feeling like a good quality single. Now, where this one is best for me is that kind of as a single, it just works. You know, the chorus is immediately likable. Even before that, though, you have that kind of funky feeling with the sound in the background with the trumpets and the brass, and then you've got the piano. It's definitely got a bit of an old school 1920s jazz feeling to it, but, you know, kind of like smoky jazz room kind of swinging feeling to it that just sort of is immediately captivating. Immediately you hear it and you just want to kind of tap your foot. You know exactly what that particular selection of sounds, that particular selection of rhythms means. You know, you hear it and immediately you know exactly how you're supposed to feel. And it carries that well. I mean, a funny thing is because it's a sound that, as I say, you kind of think of it and you think, oh, that's very 1920s kind of swinging kind of vibe. In a weird way, although obviously the video we're getting and everything about this song doesn't necessarily point towards that, what you're getting is something where it reminds you of a kind of a slightly antiquated, old school, you know, in your head it's very black and white kind of image. You know, it's something a little bit out there. And even though the video seems to have this more supernatural pixies in the woods kind of vibe to it, it's all very much about transporting you to places that are very much not the here and now. And I think in that particular way, it works superbly. So it's funky, good chorus. You know, it's not like sort of the greatest chorus ever, but it's a chorus that you can sing along to, and it's got this weird feeling that makes it quite evocative of, well, it quite transports you away from your normal day-to-day very much. And I would say, therefore, that on those levels, it really works. Now, perhaps the only thing that I would say for me, and this is a difficult one when you're talking about a single, but the only... what a facial expression. The only area where maybe I felt like this one wasn't quite as good as it could have been, so this isn't so much a criticism of the song, but I felt it had more potential, was that it did seem that when we got to and yes, I'm going to say the bridge, I liked where the bridge started to go. It started to go a little bit dark. It's like everything kind of like took a bit of a turn, and we got some slightly darker sounds. We had like dun, the background became very stabby, punchy, and then at the top you had like the synthesizer. I want to know what that sound was. Andy, who's one of our community members, he's really good at identifying any sort of piece of tech, any music tech. He'll immediately recognize it. Was it about here? That. I mean, to me, that just sounds like a distorted electric keyboard. That sounds like it's being played through an electric keyboard that then is going through a guitar amp. That's the way I would do that sound if I was producing this. And then we go over to the brass, and I kind of like wish we'd stay with that keyboard more. Now, this bit I'm really enjoying. I'm really enjoying this. I think this works very well. And it was actually, that we had this bit, but also, it was in the second verse we had this slightly dark moment. It kind of like for a few bars there, it went quite dark. That held bass underneath, kind of going dark, suspicious. Even the vocals going little high bits of like doubtful sounding. That sounded a bit like Yoda then, didn't I? Doubtful the beat sounds, and it was really interesting kind of how this kind of took a bit of a dark element, and it felt to me like, I mean, it's fine to switch back after this little moment, and yes, I get it, it goes with like the couple of bars of lyrics and everything, but the thing is that after this moment, it hinted something. And so to not really come back to that place at all anywhere else in the song felt a little bit strange to me. And then also from the bridge, we had that nice feeling in the bridge where we had all the solos and all that happening. And so you're thinking, okay, this is interesting. But then it just kind of leads into the last chorus. I got to be honest, the last chorus to me landed a little bit unceremonious. You might have noticed my facial expression. I went, because I didn't expect it to just suddenly arrive. And it was like, we kind of built up all these things. We had this interesting sort of very punchy, dum, 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 kind of very swinging kind of feeling in the bridge. We'd built up a little bit of a sense that there might be a bit of a dark undertone in the second verse. And then towards the end, so I'm thinking the bridge is going to build into something really dramatic and then burst into the last chorus. Or maybe even just go to a really kind of dark place and get a little bit sort of... a little bit like that, I don't really know. I'm trying to think of a good example, but you kind of imagine, I'm sure, someone get in the comments if you can think of this, like a musical piece. I'm sure, I wish I could remember one. I'm not super familiar with musicals, but I kind of know the archetypes. Like the musical piece that kind of starts happy, but just gets darker and darker and darker, and kind of like, it sort of builds up that sensation. And I thought we were going to go in this place where the bridge was going to get darker and darker before the last chorus, but the last chorus just kind of arrived. And so when that last chorus arrives, it doesn't really feel like it comes in with much impact to me. It just kind of feels like, oh, we're back at the chorus again. So for me, I felt like this song hinted at a lot of really interesting ideas that I think it could have implemented without losing the single quality. I think it could have still been a catchy single and maybe indulged a little bit more in some of those ideas. Then again, I guess the difficult thing is that Phantom Sitter do have a lot of other songs where they do indulge a lot more in the craziness. But, if I'm judging the songs one at a time, I felt like this one had room to go into more crazy places. That all being said, though, I will say that I'll go back to my original point. I really enjoyed this. If I was to come back to a Phantom Sitter song and put one on, I always try to be critical and give like my genuine opinions on what I actually think I would like to hear. If my personal taste changed in a song or improved in a song. But it's always interesting because of the fact that we're talking about songs that we really enjoy. And for me, this was a song that this is definitely one I would come back and enjoy again. I wonder if that chorus will grate on you after a while. It's like one of those choruses where I imagine you probably couldn't listen to that like 20 times in a day without going crazy, but that's because it's kind of got that earwormy, catchy quality to it. But I enjoyed this. I also think the video was very fun. They used quite a small space really well. I think that the members had a really great chance to show a little bit of quirky personality. And another thing I will say, actually, this was something I noticed so early on in the song that I completely failed to mention it at this point in the review, coming towards the end of the review. But I would say that another thing that was really stood out for me about this as well, something about the melody being a little bit more slow in the verses. You really got to, because a lot of the time they sing very stylistically in Phantom Sitter. I felt that this was a song where you really got to hear their voices stretch over some longer notes, and that to me was a really cool quality, hearing them get to kind of just like let their stretch the legs on their voice a little bit there, really sort of put a little bit of extra stretch into each of those notes. So right from the get-go, we're getting that first verse. I really felt, I love these little scenes, these are so cool. I really felt that first verse, I was like, oh, okay, this is nice. We're getting to hear their voices stretch out a little bit more. Okay, not yet. No? How long is the intro? I really enjoyed that because, again, I guess that's kind of in keeping with that slightly old 1920s style swing style of vocal. But yeah, I felt that worked really as well. So for me, as a general, this is a song that I would say I would come back to this one. Maybe not like the greatest example of everything working perfectly, but definitely a song that functions as a good, catchy single with a very captivating rhythm, a very transporting soundscape. Sounds so artsy. And fantastic use of the vocalists at hand. So could have been a little bit more, I think, but still very enjoyable. Anyway, as always, get in the comments, tell me what you think. Until I hopefully see you very soon back here with my hotel coffee. It does taste like coffee, but vaguely. For now. Ciao, ciao. Wait, that was the wrong button. Wait. Ciao, ciao.